Remember when video game adaptations used to be dog shit? We could look back at movies like Doom and the Resident Evil movies, but let's not forget that there are still terrible game adaptations coming out this decade, even within the last year. Looking at you, Silent Hill, it's been really difficult for video game adaptations. In some of my other videos, I kind of go into why this is. We all know that movies and games serve different functions in entertainment, so it's never going to be perfect, but damn, it has been messy. We've still got a few video game adaptations coming out that are bound to be bad, but lately, there have been a few that might have been good. Not just as adaptations, but actual good movies. One of the many things that went wrong for adaptations before was the pursuit of popular IP. Doom, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario, these are some of the most popular games of all time. So they come with a built-in audience and heaps of name recognition. Yummy money. I don't know if you've noticed, but lately these big IP plays haven't really panned out super well. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has noticed a shift in which games get chosen for adaptations. I think the game that bridged the gap between AAA blockbusters and indie games in terms of which properties could be considered for adaptations was Five Nights at Freddy's. So kudos to them.
Oh, maybe not.
Ironically, the AAA game franchises are getting TV shows, and the little indie games are the ones getting feature-length films. Now that the doors for indie game adaptations have been opened, we've already seen a bunch of adaptations come out and a bunch more have been announced. So today, we're going to be looking at one of these adaptations and seeing how it stacks up to the source material. Then we'll start a tier list or something to track how these adaptations do as we get more of them. Sound good? Okay, let's get started with Exit 8. Alright, today we're playing Exit 8. The most I've seen of this game is speedruns, where it's basically just someone walking, then turning, then walking, then turning, and then they win. I really have no idea how long this game is. I have no idea if I'm gonna beat the game. All I know about it is that we're looking for anomalies and then it's got a movie that's out already. Yeah, let's look for some anomalies. When I first started the game, I was fairly confident. I guess the first thing to do would be to kind of become familiar with our surroundings. Oh, we can sprint. That's nice. If there's an anomaly, we turn around, right? Yeah. Okay, don't overlook any anomalies. If you find anomalies, turn around immediately. If you don't find anomalies, do not turn back. What constitutes an anomaly? Will it be a bit more obvious, or have I missed a bunch already? Okay. Oh, that's different. Right, that's different. Okay, let's turn around. Oh, exit 2. Okay. Oh. Okay, no. That's different and super creepy. Exit 4. Alright. Okay, so that's how you make progress then. Oh, okay. Forget that shit. Okay, yo. Alright, here's one thing I didn't know. I knew it was like in the horror genre. I didn't think I'd be getting like goosebumps when stuff started happening. I think this is all normal. Exit 7. Oh, we're almost there. Some shit is gonna happen, right? Oh, they're not gonna make this easy. Or will they? I hope they do. No, what? Exit 0? Did I miss something then? What was different? Seeing my progress restart, especially without knowing why, got disheartening fast. Oh, that's wrong. That was just straight up wrong. Yeah, I think. Oh, that's coming out the vent. That's not good. That seems fine. I can't believe I thought that camera was an anomaly, man. Ew. Ew, I don't think he's ever been smiling. That actually gave me goosebumps. That's No good. Okay, exit 3. Wow, I'm surprised how many different scenarios they could think of. Man, I can't help but, and I guess this is by design, but I can't help but feel, even when it's completely normal, that something is off. I guess that's how they want you to feel, because it is part of that whole, oh, exit 0, I missed something. It is part of that whole liminal space thing. There is definitely something. That is creepy. That is so creepy. Oh my gosh. Okay. What? 0. I missed something. That is... That is definitely wrong. That is not something I would like to be involved with. That all seems... Ew. Oh, okay. Oh, again, that gave me goosebumps. Something here feels wrong. I kept missing this face on the ceiling, and watching my gameplay back was a painful experience. But I don't see anything. Wait, is there always a panel on that side?
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell.
Should I just turn it? Fuck it. Let's turn around. Oh, okay, okay. Wow. Okay, so they can be subtle. Wait, no, but there is a panel on the side. Alright, whatever it wasn't what I thought it was. But I'll take it. He's fine. I keep checking his feet to see if he has socks on. Alright, I feel like I missed something again. Yep. I hope there wasn't something. Fuck. What could it have been? What could it have been, man? See, okay. Something feels wrong here. But I can't put it into words. So am I just gonna go with my gut, or am I gonna go forward? I don't see anything though, so I don't want to blow it. Okay, it was fine, it was fine. I think part of my problem is that I have only seen speedruns of this game. So I feel I'm like telling myself in my head I'm supposed to do this quickly, but I'm really not. I need to be patient and looking out for this stuff. Aw, that's cute. Okay. Man, there's no pain like knowing I was at like 6 or 7. Now I'm all the way back down to 3 and I could be back to 0 soon. So is that really what color the doors are? Yeah, I guess so. Just getting in my own head now. Oh, exit 8. Could this be wrong? I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Okay, got all the way to number 8. Number 7. That seems fine, but it's gonna reset me now. No, it's not. Come on, hit me with something big and obvious if there is something wrong. Okay, if it resets me on this one again, the next time I get to 8, I'm just turning around. Eventually, it became too much. I was at it for over an hour. My head wasn't in it, and the frustration was building to a boiling point. Okay, I'm back to 1. I have done this so many times that I think I'm getting a little too immersed. I'm starting to actually feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm boiling hot, the door is closed so the aircon isn't getting to me. And I'm just cooking and I can't think. So I think next time I see that 0, I gotta take a break. Yeah, that's it. I'm taking a break here. Alright, okay, I've had my little break and I have put the aircon on. And when I came back, my controller wasn't working properly with the game, so I kind of just exited it, exit, and restarted. So we're giving it another crack. Apparently, I missed something there. This is a real endurance game. It's really testing me. It's like, how much of this can you take before you just get frustrated and quit? Apparently, I missed something again. Wow. Okay, that's great. Honestly, it's less scary now that it's gotten so frustrating, because I'm looking for the big scares. I want the big scares now, because the subtle things I just miss and then I feel dumb. Does this look bigger than usual? Damn, could that be an anomaly? Fuck it, let's turn around. I feel like maybe it is. It is! Okay, that's good to know. Or is it? Because that looks the same. Number 8. Okay, I think that's normal, but every time I've thought number 8 is normal, it reset me. Oh, no way. It was a miracle that I beat it, considering there was at least one anomaly that I never noticed and repeatedly failed on. Oh my gosh, okay. I did it. I did it. I have some thoughts. So, the first thing is that I don't think I really like that game. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I feel like I have a pretty strong tolerance for frustration, I guess. But I've never gotten annoyed out of my frustration. What that means for this video is that I think I'm gonna vastly prefer seeing this as a movie. For me personally, I could do without the interactive aspect, I think. Not a lot happens. It's all in one little location, but I think in a way that might be good, because it gives you a lot of room to sort of build up to this little place and to really emphasize what's unsettling about it. But I'm curious what the movie's gonna be like. I think the movie is gonna be a lot of fun in comparison, because you can get a lot scarier with it, you can get a lot weirder with it, you can add your own stuff in, and I think what's different about this game compared to other potential indie games turned movies is that it's fine as the bones of something, the bones of a narrative. You don't need more than this for the game, but it wouldn't be unacceptable to add things to it for a movie. Like, I don't think anyone could be upset that a movie makes deviations from this. Both of them will be stronger for it. Possibly. Oh, his face was gone. I think you'd have to make up a story for it. Do I think it would be worthwhile to adapt? I guess so. I think what that really comes down to is if they want to explain this situation or not. If they want to come up with a reason as to why these anomalies are happening and everything, I think that would kind of ruin it a little bit. And that's something that, you know, people do when adapting things. They like to explain, and they feel like they have to explain, because if they don't, then you won't have a fulfilling conclusion. Yeah, you can have a character arc, but an open-ended conclusion. I think it can be adapted. I think it would be worthwhile adapting it, because it is something I would want to see And I guess the last question would just be, is the game any good? And that, I think, depends very much on who you ask. For me, I don't really think I can see myself recommending this to anybody, to be honest. I don't really see what would draw people in. I like the idea of it, I do, and again, it's just my circumstances around it. You know, it's a hot day, the game can be quite frustrating, I feel stupid, so a smarter, more patient person who really loves Spot the Difference, they might have a wonderful time with this. But for me, man, watching a walkthrough or just watching one of my speedruns again might not have been the worst use of my time, especially considering just the way that this went, man. For me, my frustration with the game became its defining feature, which is a shame because I'm not sure if that was anybody else's main takeaway. To research other people's experience with the game, I watched 2 other playthroughs, Queso and Critical. Luckily, I wasn't the only one that was really getting paranoid and even frustrated.
You did 8 twice? That was the anomaly? Are you serious? Are you serious? Why did y'all just troll me?
The premise of a repeating hallway does suggest an element of frustration. So, before watching the movie, I assume this element will appear in the movie in some way. I'm also expecting them to turn up the fear factor, because this type of horror probably won't translate to a movie really well. Even though this video is about the adaptation, I still want to know if this is actually a good movie or not. So, as someone who has played the game, I need the perspective of someone who hasn't played the game to properly filter out my bias. So I sat down with Druzy to watch this thing. We're about to watch the movie. Druzy hasn't played the game, but I have. But you've seen it, right? Like what the game looks like and everything.
Yeah, I know the concept. I've seen the trailer. I watched you play a little bit, so I'm not completely out of the loop.
Yeah, but I think it's a different thing seeing someone play it and playing it. Okay, so the movie. How does it replicate the game? When we were watching the movie, the first thing Druzy asked was, is the whole thing in first person? And it wasn't, but it was a really cool touch that, as cheesy as a first person part of a first person game adaptation is, the movie opened like this and let us sort of settle into this perspective. It almost felt like they were saying, this is what the game is like, see? Okay, you get it. I think it worked much better like this, rather than A, making the whole movie first person, or B, having a first person section later in the movie to make people go, that's just like the friggin' game, dude, no way. Other than that, I think the movie did a really nice job of making the audience feel somewhat included by letting us catch some of the anomalies before the characters to create a sense of dramatic irony. It's also visually recognizable as an adaptation of the game. You could take a still from most of the movie and be able to identify it as an Exit 8 movie. How does it expand on the game? But that isn't without some notable exceptions. After playing the game, I speculated that they would need to find some way to structure a story around the premise, which they did. And they would also have to tie a character arc to their journey through this maze-like space, which they also did. This also meant having to add or change a few things to make it digestible, because if it was just a one-to-one adaptation of the game, that would have been boring. So we have a transit section that establishes an inner conflict that would be expanded on. We hear important conversations with his wife or girlfriend and find out she's pregnant. She asks him what to do, and his indecisiveness and anxiety over being a father is something he has to overcome. We also find out he's asthmatic. There are a few anomalies that are unique to the movie, which I thought were good because they were specifically there to torture our main character. All of that story is a welcome inclusion to this adaptation and doesn't conflict with anything from the game. The only thing that really conflicts with it is the idea of people stuck in this space bumping into each other. We get to see some characterization for the walking man. We have a little kid character that is simultaneously being extremely helpful by staring at anomalies that other characters missed, but also completely useless because he doesn't actually say anything. At first I thought, oh, poor kid, he's mute. But then later on we find out he's just an asshole. All of this might be a little too revealing. Depending on your tolerance for unraveling the mystery of this impossible space, you might not like how much they're giving away. But for me, it was enough to serve the story without solving the true nature of this thing. The way this space changes our main character can feel like it's a liminal space version of a saw trap. You go in with shortcomings, and if you come out as a better person. Would fans enjoy the movie? Exit 8, the game, was a cool little trek into the world of liminal spaces and anomalies, but I'm not too sure how many people are really fans of it. But I must say, as someone who really didn't have a great time with the game, and watching this movie with someone who hasn't played it, I found myself acting like a fan more than I thought I would. I would constantly turn to Druzy and point out when things are or aren't in the game, and I would feel pride when she would ask me whether or not some things were in the game. As someone who is reluctant to call themselves a fan of this game, I think fans would enjoy this movie. It felt quite cathartic to see the characters freak out and get pissed off at their predicament. It made me feel like getting angry at the game was completely justified and not at all a reflection of my inability to succeed in a world of kids' puzzle games like Where's Wally and Spot the Difference. Was it worth making? And would people want to visit the source material? I definitely think this movie was worth making. It's the exact type of adaptation that I enjoy. It's simultaneously distinct, yet faithful to the source material. I do feel like people might want to play the game after watching the movie. I definitely felt like I wanted to try again afterwards. But that's as someone who has played it. Let's ask someone who hasn't.
I was pleasantly surprised. Going in, I didn't play the game, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I did see the trailer and I really liked the concept. I loved the symbolism, the inner turmoil that Exit 8 kind of represents for our main character. I loved that. I thought that was really smart. It was a really smart way to take this horror and turn it into something deeper. Can I say a hot take? I don't like the kid. Like, okay. No offense. You know, that to me felt like, okay, this is the director's child that he's just gonna cameo in here.
Yeah, and then he has like a really prominent role.
Yeah, like I get the point of him, you know, it's kind of helps our main character like see in himself that he is capable of helping a child, of raising a child, but he was just a little annoying in jail.
So is that like your biggest
that was
with
yeah, but even then that's like such a nothing burger. It's like what, that's just a personal preference. It doesn't change the way the movie is in any way.
Even as someone who hasn't played the game, you appreciate that how close it was to the game.
Yes, 100%. When I was watching your recording, I was like, wait, is this the game or is this the movie? Because they look so similar. They really kind of hit the nail, in my opinion. After learning more about the game, I love that there were themes. I love that they just made the story a lot richer and the game a lot richer. And I think they really complement each other. Because usually game adaptations kind of try to stay true to the game, at least for the most part. But this one took the game and made it something deeper, and I really like that. I really think that they complement each other really well. Like, if you watch the movie, you gotta play the game. If you play the game, you gotta watch the movie.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas
so
like some other adaptations, it's like it's either hit or miss. It's like, this is like okay, but meh, just play the game, or meh, just watch the movie.
So I was gonna ask, did you feel like playing the game after watching the movie?
Yes, 100%, yeah.
And compare that to like Uncharted, for example, where you didn't give a fuck about Uncharted after we watched
And
that.
Until Dawn was such a miss for me. I was like, this isn't even like the game at all. But how can you even call it Until Dawn?
Was it actually good as its own thing? I don't think this is a bad movie at all. It isn't amazing or anything, but it does elevate Exit 8 as an, sorry to use such a corporate phrase, piece of intellectual property. But I do feel fonder towards Exit 8 as a whole after seeing the movie. It eased my initial frustration with the game, but on its own, I'm not too sure how much of an impression it would leave on people. I think it's a fun little horror movie that would be best appreciated by horror fans that don't mind watching something that doesn't exactly have mass appeal. I think they found some fun ways to translate the idea into a movie, but without being able to acknowledge those novel additions to the source material, it might seem a little shallow. I'm happy to say that Exit 8 definitely did survive adaptation. Now the only thing left to do is to throw it onto the tier list. It's an enjoyable movie and an adaptation that I personally feel complements the original extremely well, without forever altering the lore or experience of the original. So on my tier list, because the source material isn't mind-blowing and the adaptation isn't mind-blowing, but it is still a faithful translation, I am putting it at A. I'm not exactly sure what the next video we're doing after this will be, but I do know we'll be doing more of these at some point. I know soon the Elden Ring movie will be coming out. I know it's not exactly an indie game, but maybe we'll make a video about it. There's also Faith, there's also The Backrooms, which I'm really looking forward to. The movie looks great. I know that isn't just based on a game, but I think we could do a pretty interesting video looking at the whole perspective of The Backrooms and how that gets used in the movie, what they keep and what they leave behind. Is this gonna fill me with joy? Oh my fuck. What is that? So that's it. Exit 8 survives adaptation, and I'm extremely curious to know if you guys actually enjoyed Exit 8, because I feel like I'm kind of in the minority in a weird way, where the game just didn't feel enjoyable. It just didn't seem fun. But what do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy the movie? Did you enjoy the game? I want to hear all about it. Where would you rank it on the tier list? Let me know in the comments. That's another Slimepool video done. Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to see the next episodes of Surviving Adaptation, why not subscribe? And if you enjoyed this one, leave a like. Bye.